the brief yet explosive supernovas of sound. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 bands who had a short life.
This ain't no picnic!
For this list, we're focusing on rock bands that released no more than 4 studio albums with their original lineup. And we're excluding supergroups like Cream, whose members came from existing bands.
I said, hey, what's going on?
Number 10, Minor Threat. Emerging from Washington, D.C. in the early 1980s, this punk band forever changed the hardcore subgenre, as Minor Threat advocated a straight-edge approach to life, meaning no drugs, booze, and no promiscuous sex. Yet they were still indie artists to their core, producing and releasing music under their own label. Unfortunately, Minor Threat released just one full-length studio album from 1980 to 1983, and the band dissolved largely in part to the violence surrounding their genre. Just a few short years later, frontman Ian MacKaye went on to form another iconic band named Fugazi. Number 9, The Runaways.
Used to be the troublemaker, hated home was a sweet heartbreaker.
Some of you may remember this band from the acclaimed 2010 film starring Kristen Stewart and Dakota Fanning. However, the average music fan undoubtedly correlates The Runaways with Joan Jett and Lita Ford, two prominent solo artists of the 1980s rock scene.
Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom.
And it was the artists' conflicting visions that led to the inevitable dissolution of The Runaways, not to mention a beef with late Kim Fowley, producer, and The Runaways' connection to Mercury Records.
Come and get it, boys. Queens of noise.
After 4 years of partying and 4 studio albums, the band remained huge overseas, but North America was ready for something new.
School days, I'm older now, and what will I find but my...
Number 8, The Civil Wars.
Oh, if I could go back in time when you only held me in my mind.
5 years, 4 Grammy Awards, and 2 beautiful, beautiful voices. That's all it took to secure this Nashville folk duo a spot on our list.
I wish you were the one. Wish you were the one that got away.
Releasing only 2 albums in their short half a decade as a group, bandmates Joy Williams and John Paul White became known for their seamless harmonies and moody lyricism, which earned the Civil Wars endless critical acclaim on top of their rapidly growing fan base.
You say it's not your laughter that gives you away.
Though the band unfortunately called it quits in August of 2014, there's no denying that what the duo accomplished is impressive. And hey, they even have Taylor Swift as a fan.
If I die before I wake, I know the Lord my soul won't
Number 7, The Smiths.
Punctured bicycle on a hillside desolate.
In a time when Minor Threat offered a new approach to punk in the United States, an introspective group of Brits were doing the same across the pond.
The boy with a thorn in his side, behind the hatred they lie.
Formed by Stephen Patrick Morrissey, who had previously fronted a band with Billy Duffy of The Cult, the Smiths took aim at the pretensions of the blossoming punk and new wave scene.
Oh, you've been in the house too long, she said, and I naturally fled.
And oddly enough, they ultimately earned the same reputation thanks to their outspoken lead singer and morose lyrical content. Releasing just 4 albums over the course of their 5-year career, the often tension-filled Smiths finally went their separate ways for good in 1987.
I am human and I need to belong, just like everybody else does. Don't be afraid
Number 6. Sublime.
I give her all that I have to give. I'm gonna make it hard to live.
Heavily influenced by both the reggae and punk genres, this band was quickly becoming a local favorite of the Southern California ska scene.
Loving is what I got. I said remember that.
But lead singer Bradley Nowell wouldn't live to truly experience the band's lasting impact. After a couple of well-received albums, Sublime released their new iconic self-titled album in July of 1996, just months after Bradley died of a heroin overdose.
I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball.
Songs like What I Got, Santeria, and Wrong Way have become modern ska classics, and Sublime certainly would have joined No Doubt in representing early 21st century ska if not for their unexpected demise.
Baby, you wanna leave and never go. But honey, it's worse than none at all.
Number 5. The Sex Pistols.
I don't wanna holiday in the sun. I wanna go to the New Bell Sun.
If Sublime's music was more for a chilled-out crowd, this band was for the Ragers.
Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it.
Today, bassist Sid Vicious has become an infamous cult figure, yet the casual music fan often has trouble naming many songs from the band's catalog.
I wanna be an okay.
Before the infamous 1978 death of Sid's girlfriend Nancy and the subsequent overdose of Vicious himself, the band released just one studio album, and a highly controversial album at that.
God save the Queen, the fascist regime.
Yet despite the band's short 3-year run and limited discography, the Pistols not only shaped punk forever, but directly inspired the formation of much of the Manchester new wave scene. Number 4. NWA.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. From the gang called with attitudes.
As an alternative musical genre to the more poppy and posturing musical styles of late 80s Los Angeles, this hip-hop ensemble formed organically thanks to their shared love for Raging Against the Machine, whether it was the Local 5-0 or the miseducation of American society.
Ruthless is the way to go, they know. Others say rhymes which fail to be original.
Contrary to popular belief, NWA released not one, but 2 albums during their 5 years together, but it was the West Coast classic Straight Outta Compton that transcended the genre and introduced a new style of storytelling to the world, regardless of whether critics and consumers were ready for such a blunt approach. Number 3. Nirvana. In the history of rock music, there's obviously been a number of short-lived bands that were influential in their own right, but only a select few had a frontman that could take the conceptual message to the next level. While Nirvana's Kurt Cobain may not have been ready for fame, his Seattle band transformed into the face of alternative music, even if they were operating on an entirely different wavelength than their musical contemporaries. With only 3 studio albums to their name, Nirvana inadvertently put an end to hair metal and kicked off a musical revolution thanks to the vision of Cobain, Dave Grohl, and Chris Novoselic. Number 2. Joy Division. Coming together following a 1976 Sex Pistols show, Joy Division would shape the post-punk sound by incorporating punk rock ideals with a new wave aesthetic.
In the shadow play, acting out your own death, knowing no more.
With the chaotic stage presence of Ian Curtis, Joy Division found a loyal fan base, but few knew the lead singer battled epilepsy, which strangely played a crucial role in his musical persona.
Boy, I was called out when the going gets tough. Things you learn are no longer enough.
Just 23, Curtis hung himself while separated from his wife, 2 months before the release of Joy Division's second album Closer, and 1 day before their North American tour. The band would regroup as New Order, but the world lost something truly special with Ian Curtis.
Just wait till tomorrow. I guess that's what they wanna say.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. A groundbreakingly innovative guitarist, Jimi Hendrix would have found fame one way or another, but as fate would have it, he was destined to become a rock legend by the way of Britain. With the help of bandmates Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell, the Jimi Hendrix Experience reinvented rock and reshaped the notion of a guitar hero. Through a trilogy of late 60s albums, the Jimi Hendrix Experience innovated a psychedelic sound that no one could quite explain, as it was a spontaneous, collective output from the minds of 3 brilliant musicians. So, do you agree with our selections? What is your favorite band that had a short life? For more mind-blowing top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.